everybody. Welcome to Gas is on the Right YouTube, and welcome to our new segment, Splash and Go, where we talk about all the little things of NASCAR going on, small news, rules, everything that we just can't get in one episode. So, guys, are y'all ready to dive right in? Because we got a little bit to go through today, starting with earlier this week. Full Speed dropped on Netflix, the new series pertaining around the championship run last fall in NASCAR. So, who wants to jump on first?
I can go because I started watching it. Tuesday morning? Or
Yeah, I
Tuesday,
think you started
Wednesday
it that
morning.
morning.
Yeah, as soon as I woke up and got going, I was like, all right, I'm putting Netflix on and watching this. um,
I wish I could have.
and
I
then
wanted to.
and then proceeded to finish it in one day. Oh,
was gonna say, I think we finished it in one day, didn't we?
Yeah, we watched it like when we got home from work at like 6 o'clock. We got to the house and started watching it and just finished it before the night was over. And it's
I mean,
honestly
it was
sad.
an easy watch. It just kind of
Yeah,
flowed through. It only being
yeah.
5 episodes kind of sucked. Like,
I actually expected more. Like I thought there would be at least
because
like
that's what I was
6 or 7.
listening to Denny's podcast, and they said there was so much more content that they had from, like, they know Denny for sure that they could have made way more than what they
Hmm.
did. But
Why do you feel
I
like they
don't,
didn't?
I don't know. I think I would have liked more, but I don't. But I think what they did was enough. It wasn't too much. It was enough.
I feel like it was a like trial almost to just
Hmm.
almost like dipping your toes in the water to test the temp, like just a trial to
Hmm.
see how the fan base responded and everything. I mean, it went to trending at number 5.
Hmm.
Do you feel
So
like that would lead to more Netflix specials?
Probably
I think so because this
if
is
it's
what the second
successful
one they've
enough.
done or third. I know they did Race with Bubba Wallace, which is a good watch. It's like 6 episodes. And that one disappointed me
I haven't
because
watched the Bubba.
well, they stopped recording before his first Cup Series win at Talladega that fall of the season of the
Mm.
2021 season when they were recording it.
Hmm.
So that was a little upsetting once I watched it because I didn't watch that till like mid 2022. Is when I
Mhm.
saw that
I
series was
didn't even
out.
know about it till you told me last year.
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't very publicly publicized to my knowledge or that I saw on my
Hmm.
feeds. But I will say it's really well done, which Netflix does a good job with these following sports programs.
Series.
I think they have the QB series, the Drive to Survive, Full Swing. There's a lot of different series out there, and I think this was them dipping their toe into the NASCAR market with it. But I
Do you feel like there'll be any other drivers that they'll cover? Or do you feel like if they did do another series, it would be kind of what they did where they followed the championship drivers?
I think it's going to be dependent. I think it's dependent on who is willing to give access because it's not just the drivers giving access, but also the teams. And that's something that I read about is like some of the teams didn't give as much access as others, and some of the drivers also didn't give as much access as you saw. I mean,
I was gonna say because you didn't see Stenhouse, McDowell, Harvick, or the RFK drivers weren't in there.
Mm-hmm.
which I know it talked about when it brought on Christopher Bell in episode 4, is they said, well, we had to plan accordingly to who we thought would move on and progress through it. And they didn't see
Hmm.
him as one. And I guess that falls in like the McDowell, the Stenthouse. They probably went off of historical data the last couple years for SHR and
Hmm.
Harvick. Um, but I don't know why they didn't go with Bell. I mean, he was in the championship 4 last year. So that was a
Yeah, and
miss
Kyle
on their
Busch wasn't
part.
in it either.
No, Bush wasn't.
Yeah, so
So,
it's
It's
yeah.
actually kind
six
of bums
drivers.
that Bush wasn't. Now, one thing I will say I really liked is seeing more
And
of the
Truex,
personal
Truex
lives
wasn't in it either.
of the drivers. You know, I
Yeah,
like
that's
seeing them kind of like with their families and their girlfriends, fiancés, and kids. Like I think it humanizes them, and I
oh
like the
yeah.
way that Netflix.
Yeah, no, I agree with that being humanized and everything. Um, I really enjoyed Tyler Reddick and Dale Jr. talking about Peppa Pig while Tyler Reddick's dressed up as Luigi. That was top tier moment right there. But I do have a real quick note on the ratings debut. So this was from
Hmm.
Adam Stern, posted on Twitter. So NASCAR Full Speed debuted on Netflix's top 10 most watched list at number 3 in Canada, number 5 in the US, number 6 in Ireland, Latvia and Switzerland number 7. Oh, that was number 6 in Latvia and Switzerland. 7th in Portugal and Croatia. 8th in Belgium and Estonia. Number 9 in the UK and number 10 in South Africa per Flix Patrol.
Hmm.
So
Not bad.
quite up there. I mean, seeing that the exposure, and I mean, I think that was the biggest goal for NASCAR on this front was getting the exposure out for the sport. What do you have on those thoughts on your side, Emily, on those ratings, especially the international side?
Why you put me on the spot like that?
Well, if you're asking us questions, I figure
No,
we change it. Ask you a question.
no, I think that just shows that NASCAR is making a comeback. Like I've said this before, is NASCAR was really big in the 90s and the early 2000s, and then it kind of fell off, especially after Earnhardt's death. And I
Hmm.
think this shows that NASCAR is making a comeback with the newer generations,
What about you, Daniel?
not just within the US, but obviously outside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that we're able to reach outside of the U.S. I saw a post that the Daytona 500 last year was the 10th most watched sporting event in terms of ratings. So I mean, we're the number one motorsports in America, but you gotta broaden those horizons,
Yeah. Which I
which I think
know
that's what they're trying to do. With that, that's why it took so long for the schedule to come out last year because they were trying to get in what was it, Mexico or Canada or both or something.
Montreal. They were trying to go to Montreal to
Yeah,
the what is it? The General Tire uh road course up there, or it's
the
sponsored by
Canadian
General Tire.
Motorsports Park.
Yeah, they were trying to get into that up in Montreal, and that's
Mhm.
what delayed the schedule was trying to work out the logistics of that, and it just didn't work this year. So that was a damper on it, but I do think that going international is their goal. Now, do I see us flying to like Spain or something for a race? Not anytime soon, but crossing south or
I mean,
crossing the north border.
They used to go to Japan.
Yeah, that was in the 90s. So it's not out of the question for sure. It's just I think they're trying to see where those countries lie in that. I mean, you
Yeah,
don't
if
want
it's
to go over and
marketable to do that.
yeah. So, but overall, my overall final thoughts on the docuseries is well produced, very well done. Netflix does a great job on their production. The personability, the humanization of the drivers, and bringing it back down to like they are people, I think was really well done by Netflix, and showing the personal lives. While we didn't see as many as some, we did see a good bit. And just seeing a little bit of that behind the scenes is always fun because it seems like NASCAR is really private about their things. I mean, it's privately owned corporation, you know. I mean, salaries aren't shared. You really don't hear about like how much the purse is or how much drivers make or I mean even how long contracts are just to all the how it's set up. So very very well done on their part in my opinion. So any closing thoughts from you guys on the full speed docu series?
Mm-mm.
No, I mean I mean I really enjoyed it. Um, I've tried to like weigh my mind on if I thought it was good because I wanted it to be good or if it's good because it's actually good. And I think it's good because it's actually good,
Yeah.
you know? Like at first I had to like stop and like remove my blinders of wanting it to be good, you know?
Mhm.
And I had to really think about is this like I tried to I tried to put it in my mind if I wasn't a fan,
Yeah.
but
From an outside perspective looking in.
yeah,
Well, I
that's how
definitely
I
feel
was
like
trying to look at it. But
I feel
I
like if you
just
weren't a fan, it would turn you into a fan if you watched it.
yeah, there's a
Like
good
I think it was
chance.
well made whether you're a fan or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, really bring an audience. So, well, from there, we'll keep this ball rolling. So the primaries, or not really the primaries, but the schemes for the Clash have been released. And we will go ahead and take a look at all of these schemes, guys. So we'll start with Hendrick Motorsports here. um, Obviously, we got the 5 and the 24 running pretty generic schemes they've ran in the past. But the 9 of Chase Elliott with that white on blue, taking away the dark blue kind of base that it usually has and changing it to a white and getting rid of some of the yellow. Who's got some thoughts on that?
I like it. You remember that like Tron movie where they were
Hmm.
on like the bikes with the or like dark and the neon, like all the
Yeah,
like lines and the paint scheme. It kind of reminds me of that, except that would be like black and white, but this is or black and blue. This is white and blue. But that's kind of what I think of when I see that scheme. I like it. It's different. It's a lot better than what scheme he's going to be running primarily this year because
yeah,
his primary scheme that he's running this year is ugly. But this is nice. I like this.
yeah. Well done. And it looks like the Ally 48 is similar, if not the same as the Homestead Miami scheme from last fall, with the
Mhm.
palm leaves and everything throughout the scheme. But from there, we'll move over to Team Penske and the Wood Brothers. So we got the
Now,
Freightliner.
see, the two car definitely looks like the Tron thing that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That looks way more like what I was thinking about than Chase Elliott's car.
yeah. That two car has been a scheme that I know that Keselowski ran. I think first,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
it's just one of those staples that's kind of stuck around. I wish they would do a chrome number with that scheme though.
Oh, that'd be sick. And have blue rims or something.
Yeah. So that's
Same
really
thing with like the Menards car. If they had like highlighter yellow rims on that, I think that'd look pretty sick.
oh yeah, changing some color patterns. I really can't wait till they start doing something with the wheels. I miss the Penske red with the Shell and Pennzoil and the yellow with the Menards.
Hmm.
Um, something I'd love to see come back. From there, we'll go to 23, the 23 car of 23 and 11, and Joe Gibbs Racing. So, couple new schemes in here. Obviously, the Bass Pro Shops is about average generic of what it
Pretty
was.
generic.
The Monster Energy car is the same Monster car that was ran last year, but we'll start with the 11 Sports Clips. A good change up there with that gradient from black to red, all the way down
Oh
to the
yeah, that looks
skirts.
pretty sick.
I like that. I don't like the blank space under Sports Clip on the door and over the back quarter panel, rear quarter panel. That just
Hmm.
I don't like the blank there, but overall, I think it looks
Yeah,
good.
put like a pair of hair clippers up there or something.
Yeah, do something that makes it a little more fills that space and that void. And then the 23 scheme is it looks like a topography map
Hmm.
actually that they did on there.
I
Columbia,
really like
obviously.
that.
You like that 23?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like the number a
Oh yeah, with
lot.
the gold. It almost looks like a
Is it
chrome.
is it chrome?
It looks like it's going to be a chrome gold
That's gold.
or like a was it reflective gold?
Hmm.
So, but I really like the topography and then the gradient to the blue on the rear. But my favorite scheme overall right now is that Mobile One scheme. That's going to be a
Yeah,
primary
that is.
on all four Gibbs cars this year at some point. But
uh, Yeah, that's chef's kiss right there. That's just a beautiful paint scheme.
that's well done. well done.
Mhm.
I love the Pegasus in there and the placement. They just well done scheme overall. From there, we have Front Row and Rick Ware Racing. So Rick Ware
A
Racing kind of,
Walmart car.
yeah, it looks like they're picking up some new sponsors there with Walmart on there and number 27 Capital Partnerships LLC. I tell you what though, if they run those yellow gold wheels, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I don't know if they
Yep.
will or if they're allowed to, but I'm a fan if they do. So that 15 car I
Yeah,
think
that I
looks
mean
really good,
that's
honestly. A lot
yeah
better than
with
what we've seen in the
the
past.
gold number and the gold rims looks pretty sweet.
Hmm.
And then
I do like the
for
Margaritaville car.
yes.
I like
Mark
that theme a lot. I think they did really good with it. I want to see the hood though.
Yes, very beachy. I think the hood shows about the same. I unfortunately don't have any pictures of it right now, but very fun theme right there with the Margaritaville Cruise Liners. I think is who that's sponsored through, and then the generators. I think is a scheme actually from last year that he ran. So pretty standard. So then we got the Spire Racing with I think they now have Advent Health, which is that focused health scheme as well, which kind of looks like a ripoff of Chastain's scheme all primary last year. And then Celsius with pretty standard scheme that they had, and Delaware Life with a pretty standard scheme. I don't think anything right here speaks to me. I don't know about you guys.
Really
No,
nice
pretty basic.
sevens.
Really nice sevens.
Yes. So I do like their font. Spire has a really nice
Yeah.
font. So from there, let's go to the next one. We have two colleague cars and
Oh my
um
gosh.
who owns the 47 now? JTD
JTG Doherty.
Doherty. So good old Cheerios car, Stenhouse with
Cheerios.
his
Cheerio.
Kroger sponsor and where it goes from there with a lot of other food type sponsors always runs a pretty decent schemes. I like the circle car here. I like the bottle on the nose of the car with the water spilling out of it over the fender. And then the alloy is a scheme that came over from that's gonna be Josh Williams, which we'll touch on here in a little bit, is a scheme that came over from his Xfinity series last year.
Has anyone here ever actually had a circle bottle? They're great.
I've never seen one in person.
I
Down
think
here
Emily
in
has one.
rural Alabama, we don't have stuff like that.
It was given to me for my birthday. But it's great. I highly recommend them.
Well, next up we have RCR with the 3 car, the Bet MGM, which was a scheme from last year, and then Kyle Busch running the Morgan and Morgan sponsorship with a little change to the
Morgan and
scheme.
Morgan. Injured? Good.
Call us. But they have the palm trees on the front fender. I think that's about the only change I'm seeing in this scheme. I wonder if they still have his face plastered on the hood. So we'll have to
They have
see
what?
come Saturday. The attorney that's
Morgan
like
and
the
Morgan.
face of Morgan and
For the
Morgan.
people.
So more for the people. We have SHR.
We have
So
a
at the top,
Sunny D car.
yes. So Sunny D on Josh Berry this year. You got Rush that looks like a backup car for Noah Gragson.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks so neutral.
They were like, look, just paint it gray and slap the logo on the side.
Basically.
That's all.
It looks like they ran out of time to wrap the car. So, and then you got the Mahindra tractors, which I can't really tell, but it looks like that back wheel's supposed to be a tractor tire with the way the scheme's looking right here. And then it looks like there was a couple changes to the United Rentals. Looks like a little orange grab thrown in there. But the Sunny D car, probably the best car out of the SHR group, in my opinion. Any
I
objections to
agree.
that?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right?
Moving on.
All right.
Keep it moving.
We got the
And that
Trackhouse
beautiful
cars.
Busch Light car,
Oh, the absolutely gorgeous Busch Light car. Absolutely
the
loving it.
reflective one.
I love the change from the darker bush colors to a lot lighter blues, and then incorporating the whites with the
Mhm.
jockey logo.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done by Bush.
I will say the Busch Light cars are always really nice. I like how they look. I don't think I've seen one I don't like.
Yeah, no, that one. I think that one right now takes the cake for me. With as long as it's still that color pattern with those lighter blues. And then Suarez running a worldwide express scheme that we saw last year. I don't know if there's been many changes, but kind of the same schemes that we saw on both the 1 and 99 at points last year. And then we have Legacy
Dollar
Motor
Tree
Club.
and Family Dollar.
And these schemes, to me, just very bleh.
Basic. Just say it. Basic.
I think the only thing that saves these is the fact that they're on the Toyotas, and I think the Toyotas are the best looking cars this year.
Yeah. The more I see it, the more it grows on me.
Yeah.
The Toyota or the schemes?
The Toyota.
Oh. No,
So,
I like the Toyotas.
well, we have one more
But
Toyota
no,
to look at
these
too.
schemes kind of just look average.
They look
Yeah.
Even
very
down to the
they look
numbers.
very Dollar Tree and very pump the brakes on that. You can't go wrong with the Petty 43 font. But
It's close right there.
It doesn't work with this paint scheme. It
Seeing
works with
seeing
other
that
schemes.
much
With this
orange on a
one,
Petty that's not STP is just wrong.
yeah. Well, the number font is fine.
I don't like the number font with this paint scheme.
The 4
It,
looks like it's missing half of itself.
the 3 looks upside down.
Yeah, well, it's the Family Dollar version.
It's like Wish.com, but in store.
Yeah,
All right, we got
yeah.
one
The
more scheme.
Wish.com version of Dollar General.
We have one more scheme.
We have,
Alan really wants to get to this last
oh
scheme.
yes, the Tyler
Oh,
Reddick
okay. I like
Jumpman
this one. Now I know
45
why.
with the
Yeah, that's
elephant
sick.
camo. Oh, it's a solid scheme. Well done, 23-11 with that one. Yeah, just
I really did
Kurt
like this
Busch
paint
win
scheme.
in
It's
that
great.
scheme? That's the last win he got was in that scheme, wasn't it?
yeah, except the whole car was that. This time they have that harsh
Black
stop line,
stripe
which
on it.
I love. I love the two-tone.
I like that harsh stop line. I feel like if it was all over, it'd be too much. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, very well done with that. As we come back to ourselves now, guys. So, very, very good group of schemes. Some bland, but a lot of bangers, in all honesty. So, from there, because we're starting to run a little low on time. So, NASCAR charters, they did not meet the agreement in the negotiation window that they expanded a month till the 31st. So the current agreement ends at the end of this year, and without a permanent system, teams will lose the most valuable asset they have, which is the charters that are valued at approximately an average of 40 million apiece.
So I was watching the Money Lap with Parker Klugerman and Landon Castle, and they were talking about how 5 years ago, when BK Racing sold their charters, they sold them for $2 million. And in 5 years, they've exponentially grown to $40 million a charter, and that was for a low tier charter.
Yeah, that's
So
it's what a
I mean,
two. I don't know the percentage increase, but quite the increase. I can't do the math in my head.
it's 20 times, however
Yeah.
much percentage is 20 times more.
Wow.
But that's a that's a lot. But I mean, they got till the end of this year to figure it out.
Yeah.
I I don't doubt that they'll figure it out.
So Well,
It's just basically like a standoff right now on who's going to get more of what they want, the owners or NASCAR.
yeah, and the big thing is like because they want NASCAR's like, oh well, we'll put you over the 40% threshold on the TV deal, but the teams are looking for the 50-50 split. And I can understand both sides of the arguments because you got teams, obviously they are the ones that put on the show, so they should be the ones getting some more funds if they're not getting enough because they're very corporate sponsorship heavy, obviously. So,
Mm.
but with that, you do have to think of they have to pay fees, track fees. We got to pay the venues. There's a lot of cost that goes into it on the NASCAR side. So there's that, but without ever seeing a physical breakdown of where the dollars are, there's no way to really tell what's more valuable. But it does seem like NASCAR obviously values the teams, but we're going to see how much they actually value them this year. So because if they pull the charters, that's going to be big. So that could have PGA Tour Live Golf implications in NASCAR,
Yeah, that would be insane.
especially after a new TV deal's already hashed and signed, sealed, and delivered. So, well, where are we moving to from here, guys?
Von Gisbergen is racing at for
Well, you,
Colleague Racing in the Cup Series. He's going to be racing at Coda.
hold on.
Both.
Let's just bask in this Tyler Reddick scheme one more time.
I
All right.
was gonna say I really like that scheme.
So he's going to be racing at Coda. Both Dega races. The Coda 600 at Charlotte. Obviously, he's going to be racing the Chicago Street Course, Watkins Glen, and Vegas in the fall for the Cup Series and the 16 car for Colleague Racing. That's what, um, Trackhouse is just pimping out a bunch of their drivers to different teams this year. They got, what's his face? Zane Smith driving for Spire, and they're footing the bill, and they got SVG driving for Colleague, and they're footing the bill.
Oh yeah, here's the circle bottle back there.
Ah, yes. There you go.
That bottle
Yeah,
doesn't look like a circle to me.
it's it's cylindrical. Is that the word?
Yes.
Cylindrical. So, but yeah, well,
We'll
I
go
mean,
with it.
let's talk about Colleague for a second. I mean, they're putting some guys in the cars too. So they put Josh Berry in their, or not Josh Berry, Josh Williams in their Xfinity car full time this year. But then they have him running part time in Cup in the 16 this year, starting with the Clash, which we just spoke about with this alloy scheme. So they have them. I'm hearing rumors of De Benedetto coming to run some part time races.
Yeah, I don't know if
So
that fell apart when that sponsor thing fell apart though for him, or if they were planning on putting him full time in the 16 and the sponsor thing went in the toilet, or if he's got enough to do part time or what. They hadn't really said anything about it.
yeah, it's definitely dependent on the funding on that end, but time will tell. The new rumors I'm hearing are spurring today that he could be
Mhm.
racing part time. So I think the deal was a full time ride or a full time sponsor that backed out. So somebody that was about to foot $20 million to him. So from there, let's see. Let's take a look at our
We
notes.
the weekends. We have two throwback weekends this year. The main one being in Darlington, and then Bristol is gonna have a throwback theme in the spring as well.
We're gonna have some paint schemes to review.
Yeah, it'll be way more interesting if Kyle Busch doesn't throw back to himself winning a race earlier in the season.
The the latest throwback with the Lucas Oil car.
Yeah,
So,
so
well, out of
many.
the schemes that we just had, what is your favorite?
It's got to be. It's got to be that
Speaking of
Bush Light car,
pushing,
man.
The Bush Light.
mm,
See if I can get that back
Yeah,
up for you.
it's got to be the Bush Light.
Bush Light.
the Bush Light. Mm.
What's your favorite, Emily?
Um, the last one that we went over, it's leaving my
Tyler
brain.
Reddick.
The name.
Is that this
Thank
one?
you. Yes, Tyler Reddick's. This one's my favorite.
I'll have to agree. The Reddit car is probably the mobile one is going to be my favorite, probably primary for the year. But the Jumpman Reddit car, always, always solid pick.
I don't think you could beat that. I like the Bush Light, but this one.
I think that Toyota front end does it justice too. Having that harsh line right there at the front, on the very front of the bumper, and not having like a
Mm-hmm.
more of
Where the
a
nose starts
curved
to dip off.
nose.
Hmm.
Yeah, because if you look, I mean, you got more of a curved nose on the Chevys right there. Whereas we'll go over and look at the Dollar Generals just to compare them front to front. That harsh line right there really pays off with this scheme for Tyler Reddick on the front. So, but yeah, no, excited for some throwback weekends though. Gotta love a good throwback weekend. And Bristol doing a throwback, those should be pretty good. Um, and Darlington always comes with great stuff. So we'll definitely be doing some paint scheme reviews on those. Um, anything else that we want to touch on, guys, before we wrap up this inaugural episode of Splash and Go?
What do you, how do you feel looking at Ford and Toyota's redesign? How do you think they're going to do?
Um, I think the Toyota looks to probably be better on the super speedways again. I
Yeah,
think
it
they're going to
looks
be dominant,
fast.
and it looks the best overall. The dark horse, I'm very interested on the fender flares that they have, or I don't even know if you want to call them flares or the fins. Um, but I'm intrigued to see how those react and see how they act. Because I mean, you also got to think the former body style did win the last two championships. So, and Chevy's been there
If it ain't
both
broke,
years.
don't fix it.
So, well, you don't have a choice when the OEM redesign.
Well, Chevy, I was going to say Chevy doesn't have a choice next year either because there's no more Camaro.
Yeah, there's no telling what they're going to run. We're going to have to keep track of that throughout the year on what body they go
Mhm.
to for 2025. So, Emily, you have any thoughts on the redesigns?
No, not really. This is out of my realm of expertise.
Well, you see the way
Oh
the
yeah,
air is
I
affected on the
have no
car.
idea how it's gonna work either until we see them on the racetrack. I just know that Toyota looks fast, you know.
Yeah, that it looks fast and it looks mean and aggressive. And that's something I don't think the Toyotas will ever look that aggressive.
Besides the
Mm.
Supra in the Xfinity series.
I think that's why I think that's what it reminds me of is the Supra a little bit. Um,
Well, the Supra's a little bit more round on the edges.
so but yeah, no, I'm excited to see what they do because with how aggressive they look, I hope they run that aggressive and they are that fast. So maybe see Toyota's leading the fields this year at the races. We'll see how many poles they go up. But
I don't know. Christopher
well,
Bell's gonna win all of them in the playoffs.
What race you got on in
he
the
always
background?
does. I have the 2023. Yeah, this is last year's Southern 500.
Hmm,
So
You know,
just curious.
they raced that out.
Darlington.
Or asking
Darlington,
you about
duh.
So
I know you know.
well, we thank you guys for joining us today on Splash and Go, and we'll be back next week with another short episode for you. Y'all have a great night.